Okay, let's dive straight into this explainer. Today, we're embarking on a pretty empowering journey, building a complete, highly capable PC from scratch, and most importantly, without breaking the bank. If you're completely exhausted by the soaring costs of modern hardware, well, you are definitely in the right place. We're going to break down a reliable, budget-friendly build, piece by piece.
So, can you still build a capable PC on a tight budget? It's a completely valid question and a super common concern. We see these massive, liquid-cooled, glowing gaming rigs online that literally cost thousands of dollars. It makes it so easy to assume that a massive price tag is just the barrier to entry now. But honestly, the answer is a resounding yes. You absolutely can build on a budget, and we're going to walk through exactly how to do it using some really smart, accessible hardware combinations.
All right, here is our roadmap for this explainer. We'll start with the budget PC promise, then meet your components, move right into the core assembly, handle power, storage, and cables, and finally wrap up with first boot and performance. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The Budget PC Promise.
Section 2. Meet your components.
Now think of these not just as a shopping list, but as the essential puzzle pieces for our adventure today. At the absolute heart of this system is a really seamless pairing, the super reliable, consistent H61 motherboard and the Intel Core i5 3rd generation processor, specifically the i5-3470. What's actually really interesting here is how these two team up to handle everything from your daily office work to light gaming, all on a strict budget. To round out the whole shebang, we've got a 256GB SATA SSD for nice fast storage, a 450-watt power supply to juice the system, a standard ATX cabinet to hold it all together, a CPU cooler, and an optional graphics card, like a GTX 750 Ti or GT 130, just in case you want to push your graphical performance a little bit further.
When it comes to memory, hitting that sweet spot of 8 to 16 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM is our specific recommendation. Honestly, it's basically the secret sauce to smooth multitasking. While 8 gigs gives you a really snappy baseline experience for everyday stuff, bumping that up to 16 gigabytes gives your system plenty of breathing room, especially when you've got a dozen browser tabs open right alongside your office applications.
Section 3. The core assembly. Okay, let's get our hands slightly dirty with the motherboard prep. I know handling these core parts always brings a bit of nervous excitement. Step 1 is installing the processor. You want to carefully open the CPU socket on your H61 motherboard. Align the tiny golden triangle on the processor with the triangle mark on the socket. Gently drop it in and lock that retention arm. Step 2, the universal tension of applying thermal paste. Remember, just a small, pea-sized amount right in the center of the CPU is literally all you need. Place the stock Intel cooler on top, lock all 4 push pins securely, and plug the fan cable into the CPU fan header. And finally, step 3, which is always my favorite, the satisfying snap of locking in the RAM. Just align the notch on your DDR3 stick and press down firmly until those clips lock automatically.
Now, I need you to remember this golden rule right here. Never force the processor into place. Seriously. The pins inside that motherboard socket are incredibly fragile. If you've got your alignment right with that golden triangle, the processor is just going to drop into place with zero pressure required. Just let gravity do all the work. Moving right along to Section 4, Power, Storage, and Cables. Let's pick up the pace a bit and see how this all comes together inside the case. First up, snap the motherboard I/O shield into the back of your ATX cabinet. Carefully place your board onto the standoffs and screw it down firmly. Second, mount your 450-watt power supply in the back with 4 screws. Then plug that thick 24-pin power cable and the 4-pin CPU connector into the board. Third, slide your SATA SSD into the drive bay. Connect a SATA data cable to the board and a SATA power cable straight from the power supply. And finally, step 4. If you're tossing in that optional graphics card for some gaming or video editing, slot it right into the PCIe slot and screw it into the case bracket. Just like that, your core hardware is locked and loaded. To finish off the physical build, we absolutely cannot forget those tiny front panel connections. Getting your power and reset switches, plus the LEDs, hooked up to the right pins at the bottom of the motherboard ensures that all your hard work actually turns on when you press the button. Then, just wrap it up by plugging in your front USB and audio tables so your case's headphone jacks and ports communicate perfectly with the rest of the system. Section 5. First boot and performance. First boot.
Oh man, this is the ultimate moment of truth for any builder. You plug the power cable into the wall, you take a deep breath, and you press that front power switch. The fans spin to life, the lights kick on, and you just stare at your monitor waiting for that beautiful BIOS screen to pop up. And when it does, best feeling ever. You know you've successfully built a computer. From that moment, the hardware side is totally done. You just install Windows, run your motherboard driver updates, and your machine is officially alive. And this right here is where our little budget beast really proves its worth. On the productivity side, it totally crushes daily office work, heavy web browsing, and online classes without breaking a sweat. For creation, it handles Photoshop, light video editing, and streaming YouTube or Netflix super smoothly. But what if you threw in that optional GPU? Well, suddenly you're comfortably running GTA V, Valorant, CS2 on low settings, and Minecraft. It is just an incredibly versatile system considering what a low-budget setup this is.
So what will you build with your budget setup? Will it be a dedicated homework station, a starter gaming rig, or maybe even a light video editing bay? You've now got the